so go on if you'd like. Yeah, and if anybody else wants to chime in on his dreams, there's other callers here, listeners. Go ahead.
Well, this was an experience I had. I wasn't actually controlled this a dream vision. I was actually awake, laying in bed in kind of a meditative state. I first wake up and I'm kind of, before I get fully awake, I'm in kind of what I consider to be kind of a meditative type state. And I had this experience. I found myself in a kind of a barren, rocky area, and I could see high rock walls off in the distance, and I saw what appeared to be a group of reptilian insectoid creatures, and they saw me and chased after me, and so I ran into like a narrow area that was like two high rock walls on either side. It was like a corridor, like I was running through. And I somehow saw that there were several more of those creatures ahead of me, and that I would run into them if I kept going straight. So I began looking around, looking for a hiding place, and I saw what appeared to be a crevice on my left in the rock wall. So I ran over to it and tried to squeeze into it. Was able to squeeze in very far, but I tried to squeeze in and get down as low as I could, so I wouldn't be seen. The creature that was chasing me came running up, stopped, and began looking around. And this creature was it appeared to be kind of a insectoid, kind of combination insectoid reptilian. I found out later on, after doing some research, that I was listening to a recording of a video on YouTube about the different types of aliens. And I learned from that they described what exactly the type of creature that was after me, and they called it a transoloid. And if you want to see what this thing looks like, you can like Google transoloid, and that's almost exactly what it looked like. So they began looking around. I was hoping it would just keep going and go past me. But it didn't. It stopped, and it looked around, started looking around, and saw the crevice, walked over to the crevice, looked in, and saw me. It reached in and grabbed me, and pulled me out of the crevice, and held me up in the air. And I just thought to myself, well, it's got me. This is it. There's no way I can escape now. And some time passed, a few moments passed, it just continued to hold me up in the air. And I thought to myself, what is it waiting for? And then I thought, well, maybe it's not going to kill me right away. Maybe it's just going to save me for later. Or maybe take my energy little by little over time. But then something happened. Someone reached down from above and grabbed me out of the creature's grasp. And when that happened, my perspective changed, and I was able to observe the scene and see what was happening. And I saw that the one who had grabbed me was Ganesh, who was a Hindu god that I had had a experience with some years before. I won't go into that right now. And also, at the same time, when that happened, I changed into a baby. My form changed into that of a baby. So Ganesh raised me up above his head, and then the Virgin Mary Mother Mary, she reached down from above him and grabbed me and took me and raised me up above her head. And I wondered, how long this would go on, how many others would continue to pick me up like that. And I wondered if Rivers or Torres or one of the guides would eventually pick me up, grab me. And my question was answered right away when Rivers reached down and grabbed me from above Mary and raised me up above his head. And then something that I can only describe as a cloud. I don't know if it was some kind of energy or what it was. I kind of wonder now if that wasn't either my real self or isness. I'm not really sure. But it was like a cloud, and it was like two arms reaching out, and it grabbed me and took me from Riverzor and pulled me into itself, and I just disappeared inside that cloud. And the experience ended at that point. And that was just absolutely, that just blew me away when I had that experience. I'm sure I'm not exactly too sure what to make of it, but when Riverzor grabbed me, I guess you could say I was in good hands at that point.
Right. Wow. So you transformed from Randy to the baby to Virgin Mary? Did you transform into that? Or did she pick you up?
I didn't transform into Virgin Mary. Yeah, I did transform into a baby, but it was the Virgin Mary that picked me up.
Okay.
From Ganesha. From his, because Ganesha was holding me, and then Virgin Mary picked me up.
Oh, Ganesha, did you say?
Yeah, Ganesha.
What is that? Yeah.
Oh, he's a Hindu god, one of the Hindu gods.
Okay. So, these reincarnations, are these some of your beliefs that you went through? What do you think they were?
I had an experience, like I said, I had an experience with Ganesh some years ago. And also had an experience with the Virgin Mary, so, I guess that's why they showed up in the experience.
Yeah. I see Kelsey is here, Kim's here. Do you have any comments on Randy's experience?
Yeah, luckily I've heard Randy's experience before because, I've got some, there was some echo going on. Yeah, we came in to a certain part of the experience and then our phones dropped off. So we're back now. But that's an awesome, really cool experience. I've heard it a couple of times from Randy. I mean, it's a just wonderful view for people if more people could listen and hear that experience, because it sounds like Randy was seeing all of these different entities or beings that he had just studied and learned about this lifetime, and then just sees even more going through creation, and that there's just more and more and more. And yeah, it's an awesome experience and shows the endlessness of everything. So I appreciate Randy sharing and you guys having him on the show. Did you guys tell bedtime stories before we came on too, or what have you guys been doing on the show?
Lila was reading. I don't know if Lila, you want to read some more, and then we can talk to Randy some more after you read.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe Randy can share with any insights he gets from the reading, too.
Well, those who recognize the new presentation and then become the new students of the real guides become more aware of the fact that they can predict their own future as well as learn to heal themselves, plus solve many of their personal situations within the arena of their dream visions. Within the unseen world, the new student is also introduced to the different levels of life that most of the unaware public knows nothing about. When Paul introduced his presentation, he used the term initiations, which is now for the old schools and the ancient masters of spiritual thought, who are many ruled by the space gods. Everyone needs to go through the basics until they finally discover and recognize the real gods. The all is can only be always new, never old and outdated. And so it is that the new wave, which takes the place of the rod of power, because the great reality is always so much greater as each new nowness occurs. Past, present, and future are human views. The all is always new now. It is definitely true. The real universal guides know more about a person's dream visions than any of the modern sciences who have monitored people while they sleep. The authorities of today have no idea to the cause and how a person's dreams come about, nor do they know how to enter the dream arena and assist each person with their overall needs. The mechanical devices and conclusions are mainly of this world and do not totally penetrate into the 4 other subtle bodies each one of us have that relate to the other levels of life in the psychic dreams. Science and all of their conclusions can only come about from the effects of a person's dreams and not the true cause. They may discover from a person's personal level why each one of us is having our nightly adventures and draw some conclusions and then form relationships accordingly. But overall, they are lost in the true meaning of the original source. The modern authorities will always make a good show of what they are doing with their complicated high-tech equipment that usually impress the onlookers. And so when they make any statements about what they have or have not discovered about their dreams, it will all look so professionally done, yet for the most part, it is just a lot of hot air and good-sounding ideas because they are being paid to say so. They really have no idea what real freedom is. I'm not saying what they are doing is not important, as all of us need something to do while staying on this earth, but their findings are very limited. And if they would take the time to study with Rebus Artars and Paul Twitchell, they would soon discover a better and easier way to help themselves and others at the same time. Modern science has gone the way of the intellect and the mechanics of industrial inventions. It would be better to creatively implement real guidance and real education into their formula with what they are attempting to achieve. The present-day psychology of the human ego is based upon who is better than the next person. And this shows up in all the competitiveness this world is engaged to. So, with the strong attitudes of so many wanting their way to be more right than others, a great cooperation is eliminated. to where only a select few become the authorities, and everyone else must go along with their conclusions. Of course, each one of us can have unlimited freedom as each person learns to listen to the real guidance and eventually perceive the many wonderful levels of life that far surpass this place. Okay? You want to have something to say?
Tim, do you want to make any comments, or Randy, or did you guys hear that okay? Can you hear well enough there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Great.
So much of the present day information on dreams came from the Chaldean soothsayers, but they were not the originators of the dream knowledge. The real universal dreams and guides were. The real guidance never taught their super knowledge of dream visions openly because of the brutal times in which they lived. As human history has shown, even the church did away with those who came to bring a divine message and possibly redeem a few people along the way. Jesus spoke of the many mansions, which are some of the various levels beyond this earth. But he was not referring to them in the literal sense, but as real positions that really and already exist within each of us, because life is so vastly endless. Real guidance comes from a great necessity and supersedes anything of a belief type of conclusions. The real guides know the human ego cannot be trusted, and so the vital information was only given to a few at a time who could be entrusted. This is also why your dream visions are so disguised so much of the time, because very few people have the capacity to be honorable and noble. As the outside public gained more information that was originally from a true source, the transferring of ideas from one person to the next brought about many altered interpretations and finally many watered-down stories like those found in most, if not all, the ancient documentation. This is why the great reality, the all is, sends in a new man to update the super knowledge of the true guides. Just like anything on this world, it's best to have the latest information. Dreams are known as far back as the beginning of mankind's history, when he began to produce manuscripts that told of his life and adventures, along with the mystery of his dreams. There has always been an interest in one's dreams until the rep system became all vital information on dreams, and even keeping it hidden only for themselves, because the demonstration of a person's dreams are enigmatic and veiled. Most people sought someone who had the understanding of their meaning. The oldest book known on dream visions is the Egyptian Book of Dreams. It was produced around the approximate time of the 12th dynasty. This book is the British Museum. That's where it is, and was written by Gobel Das. He worked with one of the scribes in the court of Sesostris, I think, the third, Pharaoh of Egypt, to transcribe the knowledge of dreams at that time. Gopal Das was one of the many, as I have shared many experiences with him and others in my adventure series, The Return of the Real. Those who become the new students will meet Gopal Das and Rebazar and Paul. Dreaming, first of all, with the physical level is basically the unconscious mind's way of satisfying its secret and most hidden wishes and desires. What is contained in the subconscious of each person is what they have decided and created as their reality. Here is where all of us become our own truth. There are endless truths everywhere in life, and it is the right of each person to decide theirs. Of what is being experienced on the earth at this time is each person is right in their own position.